Hi everyone, we're back with prep time for Storm King's Thunder, and today we are basically finishing off chapter 1. Just to recap the previous 3 episodes that we had for prepping, I basically decided that I'll modify the adventure just a little bit to make sure the campaign feels organic, and that the characters don't get this A to B to C quest that they simply need to follow whatever NPC tells them to do. I just wanted them to invent their backgrounds, maybe experience this first mission which revolves around the town of Nightstone, and then basically they're on their own. So the idea is to weave the adventure into whatever the players want to do, with their time and with their characters. And given that, what I decided to present to the players is have them work for a gnome in Waterdeep, who is secretly a Harper agent. They don't know it at first, and he sends them to do errands for him. He has this shop that specializes in rare quills, and he just sends them to simple errands. And the first real job that he gives them is, please go to Nightstone and give this ring to Lady Valrosa. She rules Nightstone. She gave me this ring just so I can check if it's magical or not. It's not magical. Please give it to her and return once you're done. And this is my way to segue into all the events that revolve around Nightstone, which begins the campaign. Basically, the characters go to Nightstone and they see that the place is ravaged. Giants attacked it, and the characters need to find the villagers who fled Nightstone, and they need to have this interesting discussion with with a Zentarium agent that basically waits to reinforcements in order to turn Nightstone into a Zentarium outpost. So basically, after the characters finish with this, they return to their employee to break the sad news that Lady Valrosa is dead. And at this point, their employee just tells them, okay, let me think about it. In the meantime, you can have a day off in Waterdeep. And the second episode of my prep time basically revolved around creating encounters and presenting Waterdeep as this great place that the characters should enjoy. And it's basically having them feel that the world that they live in is a place that is worth saving. And the reason is that I want to make sure that the players want to participate in the adventure and actually take action. They should care about the people living around them. They should create connections with this imaginary world that I'm presenting to them. Hopefully this will lead them to actually take an active part in the campaign and make sure that they care and that they want to participate. The third episode, I just created a very simple travel episode in which their employee, this Harper agent, tells them, listen, bad things are happening. I need you to travel to the very north, to 10 towns. Go to the city of Bryn Shander and locate this guy for me. His name is Sirach, and please return him safely to Waterdeep. And their employee, this gnome, his name is Jolly, tells them, please, no questions asked, please trust me and just do it. And in the adventure in Storm King's Thunder, as the group starts to travel, they should meet with this cloud giant, a friendly cloud giant that should help them cross that vast distance using his flying tower. But I didn't want, again, returning to my previous statement about making this an organic campaign, I didn't want the players feel like I'm forcing this giant on them as soon as they step out of Waterdeep. So what I decided to do is to present some encounters around Thornhold, which is a dwarven fort located north of Waterdeep. And so the characters can travel up there, have some encounters along the way, and only after leaving Thornhold I'll present the Tower of Zephyros, which is the cloud giant that can help them cross the distance. So the idea is simply to make the campaign phase in and out. To make the main story of the campaign phase in and out as the players investigate the world that is around them. And hopefully this will make the campaign feel as if it's part of something that they experience. It's not like we have this main story and they have to follow it. They have their own business to do, and the main story is something that happens as they experience the campaign. So as in my my previous prep time videos, I'm basically providing a very short recap of what happened so far. And yes, I know that I'm preparing it before the campaign even starts. The reason is that I want the story and the NPCs and the events arranged in my head, and so I can understand the adventure. And when we start actually playing, I'll basically review my notes, and if I need to change them, I'll change them, but I want the story in my head. And so I decided to dedicate 1 hour in a week to prepare for this campaign, and simply have the chapters and the story arranged in this format that I have right now. So I'm beginning with a recap. I assume this is what will happen, but obviously if things change, then I can change it as well. And I'm describing the major events and locations that the characters will experience. And again, hopefully as the campaign develops, I will be able to add or remove parts of it as I see fit. And as my players develop their characters, obviously things will change. So I'm taking it into consideration, and this is why the summaries I give here are actually seeds that will later bloom into something more interesting, I hope. So the idea with the Tower of Zephyros is that as they leave Thornhold, a day later, this tower materializes before them. They see it, and the giant Zephyros asks them, or basically invites them to hop in. So let's just write down the first NPC that they should meet with is Zephyros himself. So this is Zephyros. He's a male cloud giant, and he is a wizard. So he's basically described as this eccentric cloud giant. Eccentric cloud giant. And he basically appears with his tower and invites them in. So the first event is an invitation. So Zephyros, a cloud giant, invites the PCs into his tower and offers them help in reaching whatever destination they have in mind. So basically the idea of this encounter, in my opinion, is to start introducing the story. So according to the book, Zephyros is well aware that the ordning was shattered, and he was casting spells to try and divine what to do next. And according to the book, those entities he contacted while casting his spell basically told them, listen, that the characters are very important, and so you should find them and help them, but you should help them by just taking them to whatever they want to go, and then leave them at that. So it's kind of a strange way to introduce this giant, but I think it's a very good way to introduce this a confused wizard who probably has all the answers, but he cannot simply give them away because he's too confused and eccentric. So I basically see it as a very interesting way to present this character, give the players some information, obviously not all of it, and then give them time to develop their characters and present some role-playing opportunities as the giant takes them to Bryn Shander, which should take something like 20 or 25 days according to the book. So he basically invites them into the tower. Now, as I said, I won't just summarize exactly what the book says, so I'll leave it at that. But the giant, let's say that he knows the player characters maybe by name, and then he tells them that they are very important, but he can't remember why or something like that. So it should be a funny encounter, but he should give them some leads to whatever happens. Now, I don't want him to tell straight ahead that the ordning was shattered and whatever, so I just wanted to basically convey the feeling that every giant feels like he needs to do something. They don't know why. Obviously they do. The ordning was shattered, and they are well aware of of their god's plans, but I don't want to give this information to the players right now. So giant tells the PCs that he feels, or he felt, the urge to do something grand, let's say, a few weeks, months, I need to check that ago, and he began by casting divination spells to learn more about what's happening. Now, the book basically discussed this specific spell. He is talking about, the book is talking about contact outer plane. So according to the book, casting contact outer plane might result in some form of madness to the caster. So this is what happens to him. He casts the spell again and again to learn all kinds of interesting information, but during that he basically he falls into this madness trap, and he recovers, but he doesn't recover fully. So he tells the PCs that they are important and that he will do his best to aid them in their journey. So basically this is it. to roleplay Zephyros correctly, I'll probably need to invent an accent for him and some lines that I can pull when the players actually interact with it. And there is this great description and picture. I can show it. Thanks. Yeah, hopefully you can see it. Of the tower. So and there is a very good description of what is in the tower, so the players and the characters can basically interact with this, you know, environment for a couple of days. They will probably camp and talk to the giant. Maybe he'll invite them to dinner and they'll ask questions. So this should be a very interesting encounter in which I will be able to sort of interrogate my players and have them talk about themselves, and maybe you know, portray this character of the giant who is a little bit crazy or disoriented in a funny way. So this should be a very good role-playing opportunity. So let's say that Zephyros will try to learn as much as possible about the PCs over dinner or during the journey north. He will gladly explain the details of how he operates the tower. So the tower is operated by this navigation orb, which comes to I mean, later on there is an encounter revolving this navigation orb, so it might be a good opportunity to show to show the players this magical device. Later on it will be important. The navigation orb. Yeah. And let's say that he will explain the details of how he operates the tower and the nature of his current research. Yeah. So he's basically drifting around the Moonshee Islands, and he's cataloging all the wonders of this place. So this is basically his research. The mundane and magical wonders of the okay, so this should be enough for now. Cool. So the second event, basically we have two planned encounters during the time that the characters travel with this giant. So we have the first encounter in which members of the cult of the Howling Hatred, they basically land or approach the tower, and their agents are trying to convince Zephyros to join forces with them and make how did they put it? Yeah. So they're basically trying to let me find that sentence. Yeah. Return the world to its primordial state. So this is what they want to do. They want to enlist Zephyros in their to their cause. So let's write it down. So the first event is, they call it unfriendly skies. Okay, so so it's really I mean, if the characters, if they stand guard, or if they are alert, they might locate or might spot these cultists. So howling hatred cultist approach the tower and ask to ask to talk to its master. So they have the name of the agents, and I do want to write them down here. The first is Amarath, and the second is Nevon. Okay. Cool. So what do we have? We have cult fanatics, Alaskan human. So male Alaskan human cult fanatic, and the same goes for this Emirath guy. Cool. And it says that Emirath is carrying a smiling bag. Carries a bag of holding with an invisible star inside. And this is it. Cool. Ask to talk cultists. Emirath and Nevon. So it's really up to the players to decide what to do here. I mean, they only wish to make contact with this cloud giant, and on behalf of this Yansi Bin creature. I think he's one of there was an adventure called Princes of the Apocalypse, basically detailing 4 elemental powers. One of them is Yansi Bin. He's the Prince of Evil Air, and these cultists are his followers. Yeah, so they wish to make contact with a cloud giant and enlist it to their cause. Basically, return the world to its primordial state, as it was at the dawn of history. So it's really up to the players' reaction as they see them descend and land on the tower. So it might I mean, if the players will allow these cultists to discuss things with Zephyros, then according to the book, and I think it's a good role-playing opportunity, he will ask the players or the characters opinion about how to handle these cultists. And if the players or the characters decide to be proactive and simply say, listen, we don't want you here, this could escalate into a combat. So it could go either way, which should make it a really interesting encounter. So let's say that Zephyros will ask for the PC's opinion before he makes a decision, and before he makes a decision, they state that he might cast another contact, another plane, to determine the best course of action. And this he then retreats to cast another contact, another plane spell. So basically, after casting the spell, he understands that the cultist they don't share the same goal. So he tells them to leave. They will leave. They won't attack or make any such violent attempt if he actually tells them to leave. But it's an interesting opportunity for maybe the players or the characters to interrogate them or talk to them. It could really go in, to interesting ways. So yeah, should be an interesting encounter. I might need to actually take those two cultists and maybe give them a little bit more background than what this book gives me so far, because I feel that if the players will actually want to interact with them, for example, I can imagine the characters are actually saying, listen, you came so far and obviously you want something from this giant, and we have time, so come and sit with us over dinner and let's talk things. So it should be really interesting to see what the players make of it, but I feel that I do need to give those characters, Nevon and Amrath, a little more flesh, a little more things to work with if this encounter inflates. Before telling the cultist to leave, as their goals do not as their goals oppose. For politely telling, oops. Okay, so I'll do it like this, TBD flesh out Amarath and Nevon. Now, when I approach such encounters, I really try to think about my group of players. Some, and you should do it for your players. Some players simply, as the first time they spot an evil looking NPC, they immediately attack. Or some simply decide not to do anything and let the two NPCs, the cultists and the giant, work their own ways and talk with one another. And some players decide to jump in and try to milk this encounter and have this great role-playing or combat encounter. So you really should work it out and think about what your players will do. If I know my group, they will want to talk. They will want to understand what these guys really want from the Cloud Giant, why they want it, who are they working for, etc., etc. So I think that I need to flesh out those characters and make sure that I have something to work with here. Yeah, but this is something I'll need to think about and see how things go. So I'll leave it at that for now, but I will mark this. Can probably color it so I can, you know, find it easily. And when I'll review my notes, I'll be able to think about it a little bit more. Here, retreats. Great. Simply love formatting. Okay. So this is the first encounter, and as I said, it can go either way. The second encounter is also interesting, and this is Operation Orb Strike. And this is another interesting encounter. In this encounter, Clarion, a male adult silver dragon, drops a bunch of dwarves from Mithril Hall. Mithril Hall at the tower. They immediately try to disable the navigation orb to make sure the cloud castle is stranded. So this is a very interesting encounter, and what happens here is that we have dwarfs sent from Mithril Hall. Now the queen of Mithril Hall, her name is Queen Dagnabit, and she's a member of the Lord's Alliance. Now the Lord's Alliance is a faction. It's basically rulers of towns and cities all through the Sword Coast that banded together to make sure that their control of the Sword Coast is the Sword Coast remains their own to control. And once they realized that giants attack their towns and cities, they decided to strike back and make sure that cloud castles on site, they simply try to destroy them. So I think it's a great way of showing that sometimes when they're evil around, it's not always the player characters that make sure that the evil is unrooted. It's not like the characters are the only one who actually do something to save the world. And this is something that it plagued my campaigns for a lot of time, and I still make this mistake of making the player characters the only available adventurers in the world that actually care and actually do something to stop whatever is happening. So I think this is a very good way. And actually something to remember when I design my next campaigns or adventures or scenarios, to make sure that the people around the characters are not incompetent idiots. Okay, so I do need to make sure and show the characters again and again that a lot of people are trying to do good in this world, and they're actually trying to make a difference and do things that will change the current situation. It will be much easier if the characters participate, if they help the cause. But even if they don't, the world lives on and people try to do things and fix the situation. This is actually a wonderful way of showing that the queen of Mithril Hall, look how powerful she is. She doesn't go by her own you know, with her +5 plate armor and her +10 magical great axe, and simply attacks this tower. She sends agents, so she sends this squad of rough dwarfs, but look at her transportation method. She actually have this dragon who owes her a favor, so she tells him, listen, take these guys and drop them on cloud giant castles, and make sure that the castle is stranded before you pick up the guys and bring them home. So I think it's, you know, a very well thought of encounter, and a very good way to, you know, for us as DMs to think about this as a great way to show the players that greater forces are at work. But that doesn't mean that the players cannot shine or change things. So in this encounter, if the players try to tell the dwarves, listen, this cloud giant is fine, he's okay, don't touch him, they actually have a good way of, or a good chance of convincing the dwarves to cancel the attack. And again, I think it will be a great role-playing opportunity if they do manage to stop the dwarves and tell them, listen, this guy is fine. Maybe you know, I see this great scene in which the dragon is perched on top of the tower, and the dwarves are drinking ale with my players, with their characters, and this great exchange of information, and you know, a good role-playing scene can erupt from this encounter. So I think it's great. So they immediately start to disable the navigation orb to make sure that Cloud Castle is stranded. If the PCs try to intervene without violence, without resorting to violence, the dwarves will call out the attack and convey the and provide the PCs with information regarding the Lord's Alliance involvement in stopping the giant's attack. Involvement. And again, they have the names of all the dwarfs. So it's Dinah Ungart, so it's Dinah Ungart, Ildehar Iron Fist, Hewen Horn, and Voldrick Firehammer. Ooh, so we have two more. And this is actually quite cool, because, you know, whoever designed this encounter actually thought of the possibility of the dwarves sitting down with the players, because they need, I mean, he wrote down all their names, so he expected Griswelda Thorun, and the last one is Nalt Splinter Shield, and they are all veterans. So female dwarf veteran, right? veteran. Yep. So we have a female. I'm guessing this is a male. Another male. Yet another male. Female, male, and this is it. And let's say Clarion. Clarion, he's a male, adult, silver dragon, Oz, queen, Dag, and a bit of mithril hall of favor. Let's call the operation Orb Strike Squad member. Oops. Yeah. So again, I really like about this encounter that enough background is given, and you know, you have the names of all the NPCs. You know, I believe, and I think my players understand it also, that if an NPC has a name, then you shouldn't kill it. It has some function in the world, and I actually really like the fact that a lot of the NPCs here, if you remember when we when I prepped Nightstone, you could see that every goblin has a name. So they actually, you know, described each room in Nightstone, and in each room there were a goblin wreaking havoc, but they had names. So to me it seems like whoever designed this basically thought of the possibility of, you know, role-playing interaction with every NPC here. So I actually really like it. To me it means that whoever wrote this basically meant for the DM to take the you know, bits and pieces of information and inflate them and flesh out all those encounters and make sure that the players, you know, enjoy them as such. So this could start as a, you know, rough and tumble combat situation with you know, very stubborn dwarfs, but the dwarfs aren't striking to kill, and probably the players won't as well. So it could be a really interesting encounter in which they fight until the dwarfs are convinced that this cloud giant is okay. And at this point it could you know, diffuse into this situation in which the dwarves present themselves, they say who they work for, they present Queen Dagnabelt's orders, maybe they talk about Mithril Hall and why the Lord's Alliance is so important. So and obviously, look, we have a dragon, so it's another interesting creature to interact with. So I really think it's a very good opportunity for role playing. So hopefully my players will see the interesting part of this encounter and not try to beat the dwarves to death. And with this, basically, we are done with chapter 1, obviously. So we have chapter 1 mapped out, and we have basically 4 to 6 episodes. It really depends how fast the players will breeze through Nightstone. It could take 1 episode, it could take 3. But after that, so I think we have something like 6, you know, 3 to 6 to or maybe 7 episodes mapped out. So it's really good because I can relax and focus on chapter 2 as we go through chapter 1, which is very good. I still need to review what I've done so far and flesh out some bits. Basically, once I get the character backgrounds, I'll be able to maybe tailor some of the encounters specifically to one character or the other. I still have here some fleshing out to do, but that's fine. And I still need to think about what happens if the characters decide to ignore Zephyros's invitation and head on, and working their own way to get to Bryn Shander, which can happen. Obviously, I don't think I have a real, I don't think they'll ignore the Giant's invitation, but things happen, so I should be ready about that. So let's write here another TBD. What happens if the PCs ignore the Giant's invitation and decide to head on by themselves? Which can happen. I won't force their way, and I won't railroad them into accepting the Giant's invitation. So I should be ready with some encounters that basically describe this long journey all the way to Bryn Shander. But again, it's something that players might do, and so I need to be prepared for that. And if there is one another option in which the players don't maybe they don't try, or maybe they don't succeed in convincing the dwarves that this cloud giant is okay. What happens if the dwarves actually succeed and strand the tower in mid-air? So according to the book, Zephyros will help them go down and give them directions, but again, I need to be prepared with some encounters so I can throw them if they do need to travel by foot. So TBD, what happens if the dwarves succeed? Some encounters. Yeah, well, let's leave it to that. So maybe the next prep session I'll focus on fleshing out or building this a list of several encounters that the players can go through as they travel north, just in case. And this will conclude this chapter. So yeah, this is it, I think, for chapter 1. And so next prep time, I'll basically work through building this journey to the north in case the PCs get stranded, or if they don't get the Giant's invitation. And after that, I can start working on building a session or 2 or 3 worth of information that will depict Bryn Shander and their search for Sirac and the Giant's attack while they are there. So this should be a very interesting very interesting prep time episode. Okay, so this is it, and if you enjoyed it, please subscribe, write in the comments if you would like me to cover a topic, something that I do in my prep time in a little bit more detail. If you want to see me actually prepare and prep out NPCs or a combat encounter or whatever. And if you want, you can subscribe and get a live notification when I go live. So I really hope that people will join in and maybe help me as I do my prep time, maybe suggest some ideas. Maybe we can flesh out an encounter together. So I think it should be a good exercise. And if you enjoyed, just hit the like button so I'll know and make more videos like this. So thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next time. Bye bye.